Welcome back to Steve's Storytime Sanctum's reading room. Today is going to be the fifth and final reading of the introduction of the band members from Metzgerhund, all part of the Metzgerhund Retreat series. This one's taken from the first novella called Imperial Rules. This reading is for the introduction of the band's guitarist, Minister of Records and Technology, and the band's newest member, Calvin Stafford. For as smart as Calvin was at the beginning of the Metzgerhund saga, he is getting a hell of an education. Calvin Stafford sat by himself in the back of Billy's van, sitting on a spare tire amongst 3 travel bags and 2 guitar cases, waiting for his bandmates to make sure the rental truck was fully loaded with all their heavy music equipment. The inside of Billy's van was wider than it looked from the outside, but Calvin still felt cramped. He stretched out, allowing himself to enjoy the extra leg room he wasn't accustomed to in his own car. He shot up another 1.5 inches over the winter, bringing his already lanky and awkward body to an even 6 foot tall. Calvin powered up his tablet, slipped on his reading glasses, and got to work. His teachers probably didn't have his final grades posted yet, but he was not about to take the chance of his parents finding out what his junior year was really like before he could get back into the school computer and alter a few grades. He was having enough problems with his parents attempting to direct his future as it was. He did not want them to conclude that they needed to direct him away from Metzgerhund's influence as well. The back hatch of Billy's van was still wide open. His eyes wandered towards the opening and caught an unintentional glimpse of his 1970 Dodge Challenger TA. Beautifully restored by his older brother, including an impressive match of the original lemon yellow body color, accompanied with a black hood and stripes on each side. Calvin's beast of a car just sat there, quiet and motionless, in an empty parking lot. He would stay there the entire summer. Calvin closed the connection to the school computer. His school grades could wait. He called up the Maryland Motor Vehicle Administration's website and immediately began searching for any information that could tell him how to get his driver's license back. Calvin's tablet chimed. It was a text from a school friend reminding him about the gathering of vintage cars at the top level of the mall's southeast parking garage. It was going on right now. Calvin and his Challenger were supposed to be there. His body tightened back up. For someone who had the ability to accomplish nearly anything in life he set his mind to, Calvin was realizing just how much of his life was tied into accomplishing what others said he couldn't do. Sam poked his head through the open passenger window, unannounced. Sorry about your car, dude. I can't believe yours broke down the same week Reggie's did. Calvin's mind went blank. How did Sam come to believe the Challenger broke down? Did Billy feed him that story? Seconds later, Jason's head poked through the open window. Great seating arrangement. Sure you can get internet access back there? Jason sounded one of his obnoxiously loud, cackling laughs, then disappeared. Seconds later, Reggie poked his head through the open window. I know why you're in here. You're trying to hide from your parents. He looked around at the inside of the van. This is top-notch stealth. Good job. Calvin frowned. Maybe you'd like to come back here too, so you can hide from your mom's boyfriend. Reggie tilted his head sideways. That's cold, he said with a smirk, then backed out of sight. Sometimes Calvin wondered if being named as Metzgerhund's guitarist was one of the things he got goaded into doing. He earned that position he didn't even ask for by impressing Billy with multiple playing styles. He developed all those playing styles after having a summer camp counselor give up on working with him because he supposedly showed no musical talent. But he wasn't being forced to keep working at the guitar night and day until he could play better than the counselor. Billy didn't blackmail him into joining the band. It was more along the lines of him not stopping himself from accepting these challenges into his life. More accurately, it was him treating these challenges as suggestions because he didn't know what else to do with his life. And as Calvin was just now realizing, it was his inability to anticipate just where acting on these suggestions would lead him that was the reason he was riding with Billy to the band's new job instead of driving himself. Billy closed the van's back hatch. Seconds later, he climbed into the driver's seat and started the engine. Hector says the equipment truck is ready to go. He'll follow us to the park. You got all your stuff with you? Calvin looked at the pile of his belongings. Yeah, I got everything. Sounds good. We're almost ready to go. Almost. Reggie is flirting with some girl he just met 5 minutes ago. This might take a while. Oh, I gave your dad the keys to your car. Calvin found his body growing tense. What did you tell him? That you wanted your brother to take care of the car while you're gone so you can concentrate on your studies and your post-high school education game plan? Calvin's eyes widened and his body shot up. Wow, that's better than I would have come up with. Thanks for covering for me. But why does Sam think my car broke down? Oh, he knows there's nothing wrong with your car. He just said that out loud to annoy Reggie. Calvin laughed. But you know, the others will find out the truth. Remember, Reggie was with me when you got pulled over, and we both heard your conversation with the police. I asked him not to say a word to the others until you could tell them yourself. Calvin huffed. Yeah, I guess I should be the one to say something. They're your bandmates. They deserve that much. And you'll find they'll stand by you more than you think. Reggie climbed into the van's passenger seat. Check this out. I found out from, I forgot her name already. Her ex-boyfriend is bringing his hot rod to the mall for some sort of gearhead show-off gathering. Think we can spare the time to take Calvin there so he can check out his future competition? Yeah, I think we can arrange that, Billy answered. Reggie exited the passenger seat. Seconds later, the side door slid open. Reggie stood there motioning for Calvin to get out of the van. Take the front seat. You ain't going to be able to see anything from back there. Calvin was caught so off guard, his mind literally blanked out. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw Billy smile and mouth the words, "Told you so." Calvin felt his entire mood lighten. This form of thoughtfulness must be what Billy was talking about. Just like that, he forgot why he felt goaded into being in Metzgerhone. More than ever, he was glad he accepted the challenge. He struggled to get his lanky body out of the crowded back. He knew there was the risk that going to the mall to see all these muscle cars would turn out to deepen his unhappiness about not being able to drive. Maybe. Or he could simply let his situation remind him of what he wasn't able to do, so he would gain the determination to do it anyway. And with that, that concludes all 5 readings from Metzgerhone. If that reading piqued your interest, I invite you to check out the first novella of the Metzgerhone Retreat series, Imperial Rules, which is where I took that excerpt from. And there's 9 other novellas waiting to be discovered. The link to all of them is in the description below. Like the channel, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and check back often. I've always got something weird going on. Thank you very much for visiting. Hope to see you again sometime. Go read something.